You're about to buy the cheapest chicken in the aisle, and that's exactly where the biggest risks are hiding. This isn't fear-mongering. It's what inspectors, temperature guns, and recall logs keep finding in the places you shop most. Let's start with the two price kings, Walmart and Dollar General. One runs a volume-first supply chain that's been flagged for high bacteria counts. The other leans on discount opportunity buys with broken freezers. I'll show you the sweating packs, flimsy wraps, and the one label cue that tells you to put it back fast. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great! Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. You grab the lowest price pack because chicken is chicken, right? Then you feel it, damp film on the wrap, a little slosh when you tilt it, and the case doesn't blow that crisp cold. Those bargain labels show up like this more than you think, and it is not a fluke. It is a system doing exactly what it was built to do. Move tons of meat fast with as few hands and as little downtime as possible. Let's start with how that system works. A price-first chain chases volume. That means tight delivery windows, racks jammed to the edge, and staff stretched thin. When the whole machine runs on speed, the slow, boring stuff, case checks, temp logs, swap-outs, gets trimmed. Not because no one cares, but because there are pallets to break, markdowns to print, and a deli line yelling for help.
Cheap chicken has flown the coop as poultry prices have hit record highs at U.S. grocery stores. And the cost of chicken will likely stay elevated as Tyson Foods and other companies cut back poultry production to boost margin. In fact, U.S. consumption of chicken is expected to exceed 100 pounds per person this year for the first time ever, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. But consumer demand remains strong, with inflation-weary Americans choosing chicken as a cheaper option to other proteins, beef and pork.
The result is meat that looks fine at a glance while it drifts into the danger zone. Now the real kicker. When independent testers compared store-brand packs from the biggest chains, they flagged high bacteria loads in a chunk of them. At the same time, inspection notes keep calling out cooler cases over safe temps. You won't see charts taped to the glass. You just see a fog door and a sale tag. But warm is warm, even if the shelf talks like a fridge. Think about a cooler like a car AC that only blasts cold on your morning drive. At 9 a.m., that case feels brisk. By late afternoon, with doors opening non-stop and a compressor cycling hard, the air creeps up. The chicken still sits on a cold-looking bed, but the surface temp climbs. That's when microbes wake up. Salmonella and Campylobacter don't need drama. Give them a few degrees and a couple hours, and they multiply fast. Temperature abuse is a runway. Once it starts, it takes off. Let us talk about where those packs come from on the cheap side. The opportunity by pipeline is simple. A distributor has pallets of near-date meat at a discount. They move it to a bargain chain for a quick flip. That can mean longer hauls, quick cross-docks, and trucks that aren't held to the tightest standards. If one leg in that chain runs warm, the pack shows up with condensation, looser protein, and a shorter usable window. Then it lands in a store where two people are running frozen, dairy, and meat. The chicken waits its turn. Your nose will not catch that timeline. The wrap will.
If you're like many Americans, you probably have some chicken thawing right now for dinner later tonight, and that mealtime staple is at the center of a global debate. So how do other countries process their poultry to prevent deadly foodborne illnesses? And is the United States method actually the best?
The way we process chicken, right. The way we process chicken is back in the news with all this tariff talk. It's a hot button issue if you ask the president, because we do, in some processing plants, use chlorine after the chicken has been slaughtered. Mostly organic acid washes are used, so vinegar and hydrogen peroxide. The takeaway here is that here in the United States, you don't need to disclose whether or not you use that organic wash or you use the diluted chlorine.
Oversight reports have called out frequent refrigeration failures in deep discount formats, and you see the ripple on the floor. Fewer tech visits, cases that drift, staff who got a 30-minute safety video and a stack of departments to cover. Training matters, but so do bodies on the schedule. When a case temp blips high and no one has the bandwidth to pull product, the fix becomes push it to sell. That's how sweating packs end up on top and ice-cold product hides below, like a staged display for optics instead of safety. Here is what this means for you in the aisle. Some store-brand lots from big boxes have tested dirty in cross-store checks. Not every pack. Enough to matter. Pair that with case temps logged above safe levels, and the pattern is clear. You're not unlucky. You're staring at operational shortcuts. You might want to start using field tests that take 10 seconds. You do not need a lab coat. You need your hand, your eyes, and one glance at a number. Is the pack dry and firm cold? Or is it sweating with loose liquid pooling in the corner? Is the tray puffed up like a little air pillow, hinting at gas from bacterial activity or a sloppy seal? Is the overwrap tight, or is it flimsy?
Analysts said its chicken business likely returned to profitability last quarter after 2 quarters of operating losses.
When you are exporting that meat, you do need to disclose it. Europe will say that they simply use different ways. They use vaccines, and they also use additives to their food to prevent those foodborne pathogens. Some of that meat is exported, some of the meat is sold here domestically. But the global poultry industry is huge. It's worth $32 billion. And of course, Brazil leads with 30% of it.
Is expected to drop to its lowest level since 2018, with prices climbing due to dwindling cattle supplies. And consumer spending cuts have knocked pork consumption to its lowest since 2015.
Stretched thin, nicked at the corners? Does the label sneak in previously frozen on a so-called fresh pack? And does the case thermometer, if the store actually displays one, sit above 40? If any of those hit yes, walk. That is not picky. That is staying out of the petri dish. So what is the takeaway before we move on? Cold, dry packs in a cold, steady case win. Puffy trays, torn wrap, puddled purge, and warm cases lose. You don't fix a broken system with a marinade. Step away, pick a colder, cleaner case, or choose another store altogether. Now let's zero in on the 2 price kings we teased earlier, Walmart and Dollar General, and look at what their own systems reveal when you follow the chicken from truck to shelf. The truth is, a cheap sticker means nothing if the chicken sat warm and wet. Value lives in cold, clean, clearly labeled packs from a store that keeps its cases steady. You win when the case hums cold, the wrap is tight, and the dates make sense. Do quick checks. Glance at the case display, feel for firm cold packs, scan seals and dates, and walk if anything looks off. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who shops on a tight budget. Next time we bring a temp gun to the meat case and see which stores pass without excuses.